What would you do if you discovered your husband was hiding something big? Sarah was about to find out the truth that would change her life forever. Sarah Williams loved quiet mornings. The sun peeked through her kitchen window as she made breakfast. Her husband Tom was still asleep upstairs. He had stayed up late working on his computer again. They had been married for 10 years. Life wasn't fancy, but it was good. Sarah worked 3 mornings each week at the neighborhood grocery store called Green Valley Market. She enjoyed talking to customers while scanning their groceries. Tom worked at a big company called Bright Star Industries. His job in sales kept them comfortable. "Good morning," Tom said, walking into the kitchen. He wore his blue pajamas and rubbed his sleepy eyes. "Morning. I made coffee for you." Sarah smiled and handed him a warm cup. "Thanks. You're the best," Tom said. Sarah noticed something different lately. Tom used to come home very late, sometimes after 8 o'clock at night. But for the past few months, he arrived home by 6 o'clock every evening. She was happy about this change. They could eat dinner together and watch television shows. "What time will you be home today?" Sarah asked while putting bread in the toaster. "Around 6, like usual," Tom replied. "Are you working today?" "Yes, from 10 until 2. I'll make a nice dinner when I get back." They ate breakfast together, spreading butter on their toast. It was a simple morning, but Sarah loved these moments. These quiet times together meant everything to her. At 8 o'clock, Tom got ready for work. He put on his dark blue suit, a red tie, and black shoes. Sarah walked him to the front door. "Have a great day," she said, giving him a quick kiss. "You too. Work hard." Tom waved and drove away in their car. After Tom left, Sarah cleaned the house and got ready for work. The grocery store was like her second home. Her co-workers were friendly, and she never felt stressed there. That evening, Tom came home right at 6 o'clock, just like he promised. They ate the chicken dinner Sarah had cooked and talked about their day. Nothing exciting happened, but that was okay. Sarah believed that ordinary days like this made their marriage strong. A few days later, Sarah woke up at her usual time, 6 in the morning. Birds sang outside, welcoming the new day. Tom was sleeping peacefully beside her. She quietly slipped out of bed without waking him. Walking to the kitchen, Sarah thought about how happy she felt. Since Tom started coming home earlier, they spent more time together. Before, she used to eat dinner alone most nights. Now they laughed together while watching funny shows on TV. While the coffee machine made its bubbling sounds, Sarah looked out the window. Her neighbor, Mrs. Helen Garcia, was already outside. The elderly woman was watering the flowers in her garden. Mrs. Helen had lived next door for many years. Her husband had died 3 years ago, but she stayed cheerful and kind to everyone. "Good morning, Sarah." Tom appeared, smiling. "Morning. It's such a beautiful day," Sarah replied, pouring him coffee. "Did you sleep well? You looked tired yesterday." "I'm fine. My work has changed a little, so I'm still getting used to it. But don't worry, I actually like it more now," Tom said with a grin. After breakfast, they said goodbye at the front door like always. Tom grabbed his briefcase and drove off to work. Sarah watched him leave, then got ready for her shift at Green Valley Market. Tuesday was sale day at the store. So many customers came shopping. Sarah stood at the cash register, scanning items and chatting with people. Mrs. Rodriguez taught her a new recipe for chocolate cake. Young mothers shared stories about their children learning to ride bikes. These small conversations made Sarah's day brighter. "You look really happy lately," her coworker Lisa said during their break. Lisa had 3 kids and always seemed tired. "Do I?" Sarah was surprised. "Yes. Your face just glows now. Something good must be happening." Lisa smiled warmly. Sarah thought for a moment. "Well, Tom has been coming home earlier." We spend more time together now. That's wonderful. After 10 years of marriage, you still look at each other with so much love. I'm jealous. Lisa laughed when Sarah finished work at 2 o'clock and came home. Something felt strange. The living room looked cleaner than when she left that morning. The magazines she had left on the coffee table were now stacked neatly. The couch pillows were perfectly arranged. Huh? Sarah tilted her head. Confused. In the kitchen, she noticed more changes. The dishes she had rushed to wash that morning were now properly put away in the cupboards. The sink sparkled like someone had scrubbed it. That evening when Tom came home, Sarah asked carefully, "Welcome back. How was work?" "Pretty good. My new project is going well," Tom said, loosening his tie. "I noticed the house was super clean today. Did you come home during lunch?" Sarah tried to sound casual. Tom's face changed for a second, but he quickly smiled again. "Oh, actually, I woke up really early this morning. I did some cleaning before you got up." "Really? I didn't see you. But thank you," Sarah said. Something felt odd though. Tom wasn't usually so neat and organized. He was a nice husband, but he never paid attention to small details like folding magazines perfectly. The next day, the same thing happened. When Sarah returned from work, the house was even cleaner. The laundry was folded and put away. The floor had vacuum marks on it. "You cleaned again," Sarah said to Tom that night. "Well, you work hard too. I should help more." Tom looked embarrassed but happy. Sarah's heart felt warm. Her husband was being so thoughtful. Maybe after 10 years, he had learned how important housework was. But a tiny question stayed in her mind. When did Tom have time to do all this cleaning? She was always home in the mornings when he got ready. She never saw him vacuum or fold clothes. On Saturday, Sarah talked with Mrs. Helen in the front yard. "Tom has been coming home early these days," Mrs. Helen said with a smile. "I used to see his car come back late at night." "Yes, his job changed a bit," Sarah explained. "That's good. Spending time together is important. When my husband was alive, I wish we had more evenings together," Mrs. Helen said sadly. Mrs. Helen's words made Sarah appreciate her life even more. Yes, something felt a little strange, but Tom was clearly trying harder to make their home nice. That was a good thing for their marriage. That night, Sarah brushed her hair before bed and looked at herself in the mirror. Lisa was right, she did look happier. Maybe Tom's early evenings were bringing new joy to their life together. Thursday morning felt colder than usual. Sarah put on a warm sweater and walked Tom to the door. He wore his blue suit as always, carrying his briefcase toward the car. "Have a good day at work," Sarah called out. "Thanks." "You too." Tom waved, started the car, and drove down the street. As Sarah was about to close the door, she heard a voice. "Good morning, Sarah." Mrs. Helen stood in her yard wearing a grey sweater. Her friendly face smiled at Sarah. Sarah walked over to the fence. "Good morning, Mrs. Helen. You're up early again. When you get old, you wake up early without trying. But I like it. The morning air feels fresh." Mrs. Helen showed her gardening scissors. "Today I'm trimming my rose bush." They chatted about small things, a new pizza restaurant downtown, a community fair happening next week. Then Mrs. Helen's expression changed, like she suddenly remembered something important. "Oh, Sarah, can I ask you something?" "Of course." "What is it? Does Tom work from home now?" Sarah felt confused. "No, he goes to the office every day." "Why do you ask?" Mrs. Helen looked uncomfortable. "Oh dear." "Well, I've been seeing him at your house during the day." Sarah's heart started beating fast. "During the day? What do you mean?" "Yes. For the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've seen Tom come back home around noon. At first, I thought maybe he was sick and left work early. But it's been happening almost every day. That's why I thought you started working from home, Mrs. Helen explained. Sarah felt dizzy. Around noon? That's right. Between 11 and 12 o'clock. I noticed because I'm usually making lunch and looking out my window. I see things pretty clearly from my kitchen, Mrs. Helen said, then looked worried. Did I make a mistake? Maybe it wasn't him. No. Sarah's mind was racing. Tom at home during the day? That would explain the cleaning. But why was he hiding it from her? Sarah, are you okay? You look pale, Mrs. Helen said with concern. I'm fine. It must be some confusion. Tom never mentioned coming home during the day. Sarah forced a smile. Oh, maybe my old eyes fooled me. I am getting older. Mrs. Helen looked relieved. But if Tom is sick or anything, please let me know. I can help. Thank you. But everything is fine, really. Sarah said goodbye and walked back to her house. But nothing felt fine. Her heart was pounding. Mrs. Helen wasn't confused. She was very observant. She knew all the neighbors' schedules. And it would explain the mysterious cleaning dot. Why was Tom hiding that he came home during the day? Did he lose his job? Was something terrible wrong? These questions spun in Sarah's head all through her work shift. She couldn't concentrate. She almost gave wrong change to customers 3 times. Sarah, you seem upset today. What's wrong? Lisa asked during their break. I just have something on my mind, Sarah answered quietly. She couldn't tell Lisa what Mrs. Helen had said. Is it about Tom? You can talk to me. Thanks, Lisa. But I'm probably just imagining things. When Sarah got home at 2 o'clock, the house was clean again. The laundry she had put in the washing machine that morning was now folded and put in the closet. If Tom was really coming home during the day, this all made sense now. That evening when Tom arrived, Sarah wanted to ask him directly. Her curiosity was too strong. Welcome home. How was work? Sarah said. It was good. My project is moving forward nicely, Tom answered, taking off his tie. Mrs. Helen told me something strange this morning, Sarah said slowly, watching Tom's face carefully. Oh, what did she say? She asked if you work from home now. Tom's face froze for a moment. Work from home? Why would she think that? She said she's seen you at our house during the day. Several times. Tom looked uncomfortable. That's probably a mistake. I'm at the office every day. Right. That's what I told her too. Sarah agreed, but doubt filled her heart. Tom's reaction was strange. He seemed nervous. That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling while Tom breathed quietly beside her. What was he hiding? Was it about his job? Or something worse? The next morning, Sarah made a big decision. She would take the day off work and stay home. If Tom really came back during the day, she needed to see it with her own eyes. After Tom left for work, Sarah quickly called the grocery store. Lisa, it's Sarah. I need to take today off. Something urgent came up. No problem. Are you sick? Lisa asked. No, it's a family thing. Sorry for the short notice. Don't worry. Take care of whatever you need to. Call me later. After hanging up, Sarah made a plan. If Tom came home, she would see what was happening. But instead of confronting him right away, she would hide and observe first. She didn't want him to lie to her face. Sarah opened the bedroom closet and stepped inside. She left the door slightly open so she could see into the living room. From here, she could watch without being seen. She waited and waited. Her knees started hurting from standing so long. Then at 11:45, she heard it, the sound of the front door opening. Sarah's heart pounded like a drum. Mrs. Helen was right. Tom was coming home during the day. But what happened next shocked her even more. She heard a woman's voice say, "Hello." Sarah felt like all the blood drained from her body. Tom was having an affair. He was skipping work and bringing another woman to their house. 10 years of trust shattered in one moment. "Thanks for coming," she heard Tom's voice. "You're welcome. But are you sure we should keep hiding this from Sarah?" The woman said. Sarah's hands trembled with anger. This woman knew about her, and they were talking about keeping secrets from her. This was a planned betrayal. Sarah stood up, ready to burst out of the closet and confront them. But then she realized something. That voice. She knew that voice. And then it clicked. That was her friend Rachel's voice. Rachel worked as a business advisor. She and Sarah had been best friends since college. Rachel was smart, confident, and always encouraged Sarah when she felt down. But why was Rachel here with Tom, secretly? Sarah's mind filled with horrible thoughts. Were Rachel and Tom having an affair? Was her best friend betraying her? But something didn't feel right. Neither Tom nor Rachel seemed like the type to do something so awful. Sarah stayed frozen in the closet, listening to their conversation. "Keeping this secret from Sarah," Rachel said again. "Are you really sure? This is such a big thing to hide." "I know," Tom replied. "But it's not ready yet. I want everything prepared before I tell her. Thank you for all your help. I couldn't have done any of this without you." Tom's voice sounded grateful. Sarah was confused. This didn't sound like an affair. There was no romance in their voices. It sounded more like they were working on a project together. "But Tom, it's been 3 months," Rachel continued. "Sarah is very smart. She figured it out eventually. Maybe you should just tell her the truth." 3 months! That was exactly when Tom started coming home early, and the house started getting cleaned. "You're right. But Sarah is always so careful about my feelings. If she knew what was really happening, she would worry so much," Tom said sadly. "Tom," Rachel's voice became gentle. "Sarah is your wife. You two can handle anything together. And what you're doing isn't something to be ashamed of." Sarah leaned closer to the closet door, listening carefully. What were they talking about? "I lost my job 3 months ago," Tom said in a heavy voice. Sarah's eyes went wide. Lost his job? Tom was unemployed. But I couldn't tell Sarah. For 10 years, I've supported our family. I couldn't admit that I failed," Tom continued. "You didn't fail. You're working so hard every single day," Rachel said encouragingly. "And the startup plan is going great. The bank approved your loan, right?" "Startup?" Sarah was shocked. "Tom wanted to start a business?" "Yes, thanks to you. Without your help, I couldn't have written the business plan or gotten through the bank interview," Tom said gratefully. "I only helped a little. All the ideas and passion are yours," Rachel replied. "But why did you choose Sarah's dream? The bakery cafe?" Sarah's heart jumped. Bakery cafe? That was her old dream from college. When she was younger, Sarah had told her friends, "Someday I want to open a small bakery cafe. I'll bake fresh bread and cakes, and it will be a cozy place where neighbors can meet and talk." But she had given up on that dream. It seemed too difficult and expensive. She hadn't thought about it in years. "Since we got married, Sarah gave up her dream to support me." Tom's voice shook with emotion. "For 10 years, she worked to help me. She held back what she really wanted to do. Now I want to make her dream come true." Tears rolled down Sarah's cheeks. Tom remembered her dream, and he was working alone to make it happen. "That's so beautiful," Rachel said, sounding moved. "Sarah will be so happy." Sarah heard papers rustling. "Sarah's Dream Bakery," Tom read aloud. "What do you think of that name?" Sarah couldn't hold back anymore. Tears streamed down her face. She quietly stepped out of the closet and walked toward the living room. Her hand shook as she reached for the door handle. Taking a deep breath, she pushed it open. Tom. In the living room, Tom and Rachel sat on the couch with papers spread across the coffee table. Both turned to look at Sarah with shocked faces. Sarah, why are you home? Tom jumped up from the couch, his face pale. I took the day off, Sarah said, tears still running down her cheeks. But these weren't angry tears. They were happy tears. I heard everything. Everything. Sarah's voice trembled. Rachel looked worried. About losing your job. About planning the startup. About trying to make my dream come true. Sarah continued, her voice breaking. Tom hung his head. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I shouldn't have hidden it from you. But Sarah ran to her husband and hugged him as tight as she could. Thank you, she cried. Thank you for remembering my dream. Thank you for working so hard to make it real. Sarah ... Tom hugged his wife back, and tears rolled down his face too. I didn't want to worry you. But I wanted to give you your dream, Tom whispered. Rachel also had tears in her eyes watching them. But why did you hide it? Sarah looked up at Tom's face. We're married. We're a team. We can face anything together. I know. But I was too proud. I was the husband who supported you for 10 years. I felt ashamed that I lost my job, Tom said honestly. Oh, Tom. Sarah touched her husband's cheek gently. I know how hard you've worked. And you're still working hard for my dream. The three of them stood together, crying and hugging. On the coffee table, Sarah saw the business plan for Sarah's dream bakery. It showed Tom's 3 months of secret hard work. From now on, let's work together. All 3 of us, Rachel suggested, wiping her eyes. Let's add Sarah's ideas too and create the best bakery cafe ever. Sarah looked at her husband and her best friend and smiled from her heart. Yes, she was sad that there had been secrets. But now that she knew the truth, she loved Tom even more. Yes, Sarah said firmly. Together, we'll make the best bakery in town. After that emotional day, Tom told Sarah everything. 3 months ago, his company suddenly fired him. They said they needed to cut costs. Tom felt devastated and ashamed. Instead of telling Sarah, he lied. Every morning, he pretended to go to work. But really, he spent his days at the public library, reading books about business and bakeries. Every day after you left for work, I went to the library, Tom explained, holding Sarah's hands. I read books about running a restaurant, baking bread, managing money, everything. In the afternoons, I looked at empty buildings that could become our bakery. I met with contractors to get price estimates. That's why I came home around noon sometimes to check on things and clean the house. So that's why the house was always so neat. Sarah understood now. Everything connected. Yes, I thought I should at least help with housework since I wasn't bringing home money. Tom smiled sadly. But in the end, I was still lying to you. Sarah shook her head. You weren't lying. You were working harder than ever for me. 6 months passed quickly. On a bright morning, Sarah's dream bakery opened on the corner of Main Street. The small shop had white walls and a cheerful blue awning. Inside, wooden tables and chairs created a warm, cozy feeling. The smell of fresh bread filled the air. Sarah stood nervously in front of the shop, wearing her new white apron. Tom was in the kitchen making final preparations. Rachel arrived with a huge bouquet of flowers. Are you ready? Rachel smiled. I'm nervous, but yes, I'm ready. Sarah took a deep breath. At exactly 9 o'clock in the morning, Sarah unlocked the door. The grand opening had begun. The first customer walked in. It was Mrs. Helen. Congratulations, Sarah. Mrs. Helen beamed with joy. If I hadn't mentioned seeing Tom that day, maybe none of this wonderful thing would have happened. No, Mrs. Helen, Sarah said with gratitude. Thank you for telling me. Because of you, I learned the truth. And I also learned how much my husband loves me. You two are such a special couple, Mrs. Helen said with shining eyes. Instead of keeping secrets, you work together to overcome problems. That day, many people from the neighborhood visited Sarah's dream bakery. The bread and cakes Sarah baked were delicious. Everyone loved the coffee Tom made. Rachel promised to visit once a month to give business advice. By evening, after the last customer left, Sarah and Tom were tired but happy. Today was amazing, Sarah said, leaning against Tom's shoulder. It's all because of you. Your dream became our dream. Tom stroked his wife's hair. But you know, Sarah said softly, if you had told me from the beginning, I could have helped even more. You're absolutely right. I was wrong. Tom looked at his wife seriously. But I learned something important from this whole experience. What did you learn? A true family isn't about being perfect. It's about accepting each other, including our mistakes and weaknesses. It's about growing together, Tom said quietly. Sarah nodded. Their relationship had become stronger during these 6 months. By sharing problems instead of hiding them, their marriage became deeper. Through the bakery window, they could see the town as the sun set. They could see Mrs. Helen watering her garden. Sarah felt grateful to be part of this caring community. Whatever happens from now on, let's face it together. Sarah held Tom's hand tight. I promise. This time, no more secrets. We'll share everything. Tom hugged his wife. Sarah's dream bakery was more than just a shop. It was a symbol of their love. A couple who overcame hard times by working together. From the day Sarah learned the truth, she and Tom became true partners in every way. And they lived happily, baking bread and building dreams, one day at a time. The end.